Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Trash or Treasure. Now, we're going to try something a little bit different with the series. As you can see, my team builder here, I've got a army of Slowbro-Galars. So Slowbro-Galar is going to be the Pokemon we are going to feature in the next few episodes here. And I wanted to try something different and I wanted to talk about what the Pokemon offers before I just jumped into the battles. Now, if you guys do just want to see the battles and you are not interested in potential spreads or attacks that it might get, and you just want to see battles, I will leave a timestamp. Either I'll flash it on the screen about now or in the description down below. Most likely going to be in the description. But if you are interested in what Slowbro has to offer and some potential checkpoints here for spread building, I am going to go into this right now. So, Slowbro-Galar, really cool Pokemon, and I'm going to go first, talk about its abilities. I personally think Regenerator is the better ability. It works for Amoonguss. I think it's going to work well for Slowbro-Galar as well. So, for those who don't know, Regenerator is 1/3 of the maximum HP when you swap out. So basically, it's like a free recovery. And with Slowbro, I can set Trick Room up, and if I want to switch it out, I can get my health back and potentially reset Trick Room later, which I think is ideal for Slowbro right now, at least in the current meta. You also have the case for Quick Draw. Now, Quick Draw is basically a Quick Claw for as an ability. So it does stack with Quick Claw. I don't know what it actually goes up to, but it will stack. But either way, Quick Draw I think is less likely. However, if you do have an offensive spread and you want to maybe, Shell Side Arm and kill a Rillaboom before it gets an attack off or something like that, even an Expanding Force with a Quick Draw could do a lot of damage. However, I think you need to be offensive because there's no point of going first and then not picking up a knockout and then dying afterwards. So if you're going to be defensive, I'd say definitely go Regenerator. If you're going to be offensive, you can make a case for Quick Draw, although I still think Regenerator in general is the better ability. Now, Shell Side Arm is a really cool move as it's going to be physical or special depending on which one is stronger. So basically how this works is it's 90 base power, the game will run the damage calc, and whichever one it figures out to be stronger, that's decided it's going to hit on. So you never have to worry about if you get snarled 3-4 times. Of course, and the physical version is going to be stronger, the game will know that and it will hit you on the physical side. Or hit your opponent on the physical side, I should say. But it is 90 base power and a 20% chance to poison. This is the poison move you will run on Slowbro. If you're running Sludge Bomb, I think it's suboptimal because you can get snarled down and then it's not worth it. You do still have a base 100 attack stat, so no reason not to run Shell Side Arm here. Expanding Force, I think, is the Psychic move of choice as well. So you can make a case for Psychic for stronger base damage. However, most of the time you're going to be in Psychic terrain because I feel like if you're going to run Slowbro, you want to pair it beside something like an Indeedee. And Indeedee is also really popular on opponents' teams as well. So if you can take advantage of that, why not just throw an Expanding Force on there? And honestly, it hits super hard. It just hits super hard. Uh, if you're running Slowbro, I strongly advise Trick Room. I mean, you technically can get away without it, although I feel like getting Trick Room up with Slowbro works. You have the option to. I don't see why not. Now, the last move slot is completely up to you guys. I mean, you could technically drop Trick Room if you really wanted to. So these last few move slots are up to you guys, but I'm going to run through quickly, just highlight some key moves. Calm Mind for sure could be cool. Calm Mind could definitely be cool. Even Curse could be cool if you just want to be really, really bulky on that physical side and just maybe not die. Take a few extra hits. Could be a little bit annoying with Regenerator because you're going to lose that way of recovery that way because you don't really want to swap out your Curse boosts. Although it just could still work. Disable and Drain Punch I don't think are going to really be useful. The main ones I want to look at here are tech moves like Flamethrower and Ice Beam. Those could be really cool maybe if you have trouble with maybe something like a Durant. You could tech a Flamethrower or maybe even Ice Beam for all the dragons that are in the format. Both of those could be really cool. Nasty Plot, I think Calm Mind just outclasses Nasty Plot. As I mentioned before, you could technically get away with Psychic over Expanding Force. I do like Expanding Force a little bit better. Excuse me there. Slack Off is a move that I really want to talk about. It's basically Recover, and that is a really good move to have right now. Could be a little bit weird with Quick Draw because if you slack off with Quick Draw expecting to take damage first, but you Quick Draw procs and then you slack off and you're already at full health, kind of annoying. Although it could also be clutch with Quick Draw. You know, you're really low and you need the Quick Draw and to slack off, and it could be a cool way to get stuff off. But I think slack off is a really consistent move to have. What else do we got here? I believe it gets Yawn, and Yawn is also a really cool move to have on Slowbro, just because it stalls out Dynamax, right? If they want to Dynamax and try to attack you, and you just click Yawn, you basically burning a turn of their Dynamax, and you force switches as well, right? This gives Slowbro a little bit more pressure, especially if you want to run a defensive set. A little bit more pressure, you know? Puts on passive pressure, which most often it would not. The last move I'm going to talk about here is Bulldoze. So Bulldoze is a cool tech move. You could technically run it beside a weakness policy to self-proc, so maybe something like a T-Tar or a Rhyperior. Rhyperior has kind of died off in usage, so probably something like a Tyranitar is what you're going to want to put this beside here. So it could be a cool move. Basically, I would probably go Slack Off or Yawn, personally myself, if I'm running a defensive spread. But what I want to do now, guys, is I want to go over some defensive checkpoints, and more so EV checkpoints. I don't like giving full spreads, because a full spread without the rest of the team, kind of to me, is kind of useless. I feel like you can always optimize things based on the team. So we're going to look at the Wicked Blow from Urshifu Dark right now. So the Dark type Urshifu right now, Wicked Blow, 75 base power, always going to crit. So this actually survives that if it is a Jolly Urshifu. Of course, no, if it has a Life Orb or a Choice Band or some sort of boosting item, it is going to pack a punch. Something to note, if they are Adamant Urshifu, which is super unlikely, but it could happen, I've seen weirder, it is a roll. I don't know exactly the roll, but it will be a roll if they are Adamant. But this will guarantee you to live the 252 attack Jolly Urshifu Wicked Blow. So that's something to look at. Basically, this is if you are a defensive Slowbro here. 44 special attack, no boosting nature. Normally picks up a 2-hit knockout on Togekiss, on the common Togekiss, I should say, with 44 special attack investment. Nothing crazy, just with a nice little shell sidearm. Don't need a lot of investment to 2-hit knockout that, and I think that's a good spot to look at. Of course, you have the less common, I feel like, and a little bit less reliable offensive Slowbro. 244 plus special attack, so that's probably a quiet nature because you don't really want to you want to lower your speed as much as possible. And Shell Sidearm and Expanding Force. This Shell Sidearm will OHKO the common Rillaboom that does not have an Assault Vest on it. And this Expanding Force will, in Psychic Terrain, should be picking up the common Amoonguss spread as well. So if that's what you're looking to do with Slowbro, those are two definitely decent offensive calcs, although I do think this is a little bit aggressive. I don't think you need this much special attack on a Slowbro, but those are two major offensive checkpoints that I came up with here. Of course, if you want to get a little bit bulkier on the defensive side, go 244 HP and 172 relaxed nature, because once again, you want to be dropping that speed on your Slowbro. If you want to go with this, you will live a 252 Jolly Max Phantasm from a Dragapult. Now, most often Dragapults are, or do decide to go with the Life Orb ability right now. Not ability, item, excuse me. Do decide to hold that Life Orb, and if they're Life Orb, there's unfortunately nothing you can do. However, if maybe they are, I have seen, I believe, Safety Goggles actually did well in Players' Cup, and Weakness Policy is also another common item. And this guarantees that you live both of those Max Phantasms. So that's an option. However, normally I'd say you don't need this investment because you're just going to pair it beside an Indeedee. Or in my opinion, I'm probably going to pair it beside an Indeedee. I wouldn't need this investment because the Phantasm's not going to go off because Indeedee is a follow me user and a normal type. So they're not going to risk going for a Phantasm beside it. At least I wouldn't anyways. And I tried desperately, guys, to get some relevant Sun calcs for you. Because Sun is everywhere in the metagame right now. Unfortunately, Sun Boosted Charizard just runs you over. However, Torkoal and Venusaur, though, we can do something about. This spread right here at 244 HP and 116 special defense with a sassy nature will allow you to live a max Quake from a Life Orb Venusaur, which is definitely a pro, definitely something that you might want to consider taking if you are trying to be a little bit more specially defensive. As well as you also take a Charcoal Boosted Eruption as long as it is a spread damage from a Torkoal. So I think this is a decent option as well if you want to go Venusaur. But once again, guys, this is why I don't want to give out complete spreads, right? Because it depends on your team. If your team is really, really weak to Sun, it's probably less weak to Wicked Blow, and you might not need to live that, right? So maybe you can get away with this spread, where you can take some Sun damage and get Trick Room up in front of a Sun team, which is could be super important for your team, right? I don't like giving individual spreads. Like, I don't like saying, this is the spread, this is what the spread does, because there's always something you can do to tweak it to make it match your team a little bit better. But these are the checkpoints I think that are good for Slowbro. Of course, this isn't everything, guys, but I just wanted to give a quick rundown here. And I think we're going to jump into some battles right now, guys. So I will see you in a few seconds. And we are back with some battles here, guys, with the Slowbro team. This is what I have decided to come up with here. We've got Slowbro with the Wiki Berry. A little bit of a bulkier set, guys. Decided to go full on bulky with this Slowbro to get Trick Room up. But we've got Slowbro, Indeedee, Incineroar, Cinderace, Duraludon, and Primarina. Kind of lacking a lot of Trick Room abusers here, guys. But I'm more so going to try to use Trick Room here as a way to counteract the fast-paced meta that's happening right now. So stuff like that Cinderace and that Urshifu that we do see on our opponent's side right now. So maybe I will go with this hard Trick Room. Just go like Slowbro and Indeedee with Primarina in the back. Force him to double into my Indeedee. Then I have Slowbro, Primarina to just kind of run over my opponent. In fact, that's what I'm going to go for. Of course, I'm going to have Incineroar in the back as well. Just as a way to intimidate the opposing Rillaboom to keep Primarina alive a little longer. But we're going to go straight for it, guys. We are going to go straight for it. So just as a question of the day while I'm thinking about it here as we're waiting, what Pokemon do you guys feel is really underrated right now? You know, for me, I kind of want to say Amoonguss, but at the same time, everybody's using Amoonguss right now. Like, I think right now it's starting to pick up in usage. When the format first started, I would have said Amoonguss easily. I think Slowbro right now does have a good chunk of usage. However, I don't know how great Trick Room really is. I think Inteleon for me. I would say Inteleon is kind of the one that surprises me. I think it's super underrated. It outspeeds things, it hits things hard, ignores redirection with Snipe Shot. I think I'm gonna lock in Inteleon here. And we're gonna double Psychic Surge here. And we see the Water Urshifu, which is fantastic for us because we're gonna get a free Trick Room up. We are getting a free Trick Room, follow me off. And from there, I don't see how he really stops this. Like, this is just a free turn of Trick Room. I mean, I guess breaking through Indeedee may be a bit of an issue. Like, trying to break through it, but we're going to get to follow me off. I'm assuming just a Surging Strikes is coming out. And it is going to be a Surging Strikes here from this Urshifu. And Indeedee should take the combination here. And Indeedee is definitely going to take this combination here. So, Indeedee's going to be alive right now. What's opposing Indeedee going to do? Just drop an Expanding Force of his own. So this is neutral going into Slowbro, guys, because we are a Poison type. But Indeedee is going to survive, and Slowbro is going to take it. And Trick Room coming up. Okay. So, not the ideal way I wanted this to play out, guys. But what I am going to do is I'm going to save Slowbro here and get my Primarina on the field. I could actually go straight into Instant, maybe. Primarina is not the safest, so maybe I will go straight into Instant here. Yeah, let's, no. No. I'm going into Prim. I know I'm going to take damage from the Expanding Force, but that's, at the end of the day, it's going to happen, and I'm going to Expanding Force myself. Of course, into this Urshifu here. That way, in case it does, in case he somehow stops the terrain, which I don't even think is possible. But in case somehow the terrain disappears, Expanding Force is going to target this Urshifu, which is what I wanted. Now, if it's not Focus Sash, it should just die to this. And he's not Focus Sash and does just die to this, which is perfect. And Expanding Force on his side of the field should take out my Indeedee and unfortunately do a decent chunk of damage to Prim, but I don't think that matters at this point. Yeah. So now I have Instant coming in. Do I want Instant? Because I feel like if he brought Rillaboom, he's bringing Rillaboom in. So I'm going to bring Instant in right now. And then I have Slowbro as a swap in. So this should be this Rillaboom. Should be this Rillaboom. And it is indeed this Rillaboom. Okay. So this I'm content with. Just going to get a Lash Out off into the Indeedee. Not going to worry about Fake Out. Even though terrain's going to change, I technically could Fake Out. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I actually might max this Slowbro, guys. I might Dynamax the Slowbro. Kind of seems wild. Probably won't, but I might. There's a potential that I'm going to do that right now. And Lash Out, going into this Indeedee, I don't think it's going to knock it out. But it's going to put it in a really, really low range right now. Going to knock it down pretty low. It might actually kill, depending on if he's bulky or not. If he's not very bulky, it will kill. But I don't. Something tells me they normally hang on from it, so we'll see. They normally do hang on from my Lash Outs. And he's going to straight up Dynamax right here with this -1 Rillaboom. I'm assuming it's the Rillaboom. I'll be shocked if it's the, yeah, it's the Rillaboom. I was about to say, I'll be shocked if it's that Indeedee. But Rillaboom going to Dynamax. I'm assuming he just was trying to plow through. I'm assuming he was trying to plow through my, my Primarina here. So this is either going to be a fantastic switch-in. Okay, this is looking like a really good switch-in as he Helping Hand boosts And Slowbro should be able to take this here. As Lash Out coming out, hopefully going to be enough into this Indeedee. But I don't think it will be. And it will be enough into the Indeedee, so that's a very good turn for us here. As this Rillaboom is going to come out with a Drum Solo here. Helping Hand boosted basically takes away the -1. I believe Slowbro takes this. And Slowbro takes that like a champion. And I did actually mess up my HP, guys. I should be at 200. I should be at 200 or 202 right now, just because I have a citrus. I do have that Wiki Berry, and in order for it to proc, it is better to be at an even number of HP. So that is my bad on this EV spread here, but that's fine. I don't think we're in a bad spot, as Slowbro is one of his back two. And not Slowbro, sorry, that is a Cinderace. I cannot not read this very well right now. I do have Trick Room up right now. I could technically slack off, and I think I'm going to. I have no reason not to slack off right now, just to heal myself up. And I could Parting Shot, although I think I'm just going to drop a Burning Jealousy for some chip damage here. No reason for me to take Incineroar off the field right now. This is bad if he... No, I don't see a way he kills Slowbro here. I really don't. As Incineroar just going to drop a Burning Jealousy for a little bit of chip damage. And what are we going to see from the Cinderace? Of course, a Max Quake from Rillaboom. That's going to be concerning. Slowbro, please take that. Okay, so Slowbro does take this very, very well. And with a little bit of grassy terrain as well, we're going to take that a little bit better here. The problem, though, is the special defense boosts. Cinderace, of course, going for a high jump kick, turning into a fighting type right into my Incineroar. And this I don't like to see. We're dead. Yeah. So he does manage to take out Incineroar there, and the one thing I have going for me is the fact that I have not Dynamaxed yet. And I think that's all I really have going for me here. And I think it's Slowbro is going to be the contender right now. Slowbro is going to be the contender. Because, like, a G-Max Drum Solo is going to scare Primarina out from maxing. G-Max Drum Solo definitely stops Primarina from maxing. He is a fighting type right now. I do get a free Moonblast off into that slot. However, I'm still concerned about Sucker Punch, because he could Sucker Punch the Slowbro here. So maybe I don't Dynamax the Slowbro, but at the same time I kind of have to. Now he knows Slowbro is going to potentially slack off and just heal up, so I could technically slack off, heal up, and just get a free Moonblast into this Rillaboom, into this Cinderace, kill the Cinderace, and then have Slowbro versus Rillaboom endgame. And I think I'm going to play it that way. I'm going to play it that way instead, guys. This might not be the correct play. He does Sucker Punch, so very happy I decided to go for the slack off here. And he is a dark type, so this Life Orb boosted Moonblast will be picking up this Cinderace. I do not care if he's +1 special defense. I really don't. And Primarina going to drop the Moonblast. It should die. If it survives this, I will be flabbergasted. And Cinderace does decide to go down. So what's Rillaboom target here? He should Drum Solo, and he should take out my Primarina, which is perfectly fine by me. And it's time to start max oozing. It is time to start max oozing. Unfortunately, high horsepower is still going to do a decent chunk of damage to me here. And this is where, this is the one time quick draw would actually, I think, would come in handy here. Because I could potentially be going before it. Now, I still want to Dynamax here. He is -1 Rillaboom. I definitely want to Dynamax to be able to take attacks a little bit better. That's a guarantee here. It's just a bit annoying that he does have that +1 special defense boost. Although I think Ooze will counteract that by giving me a +1 special attack boost. So we should be able to win this endgame here with the Dynamax Slowbro on the field. And guys, this was not my game plan. This was not the intention for Galarian Slowbro, how it's supposed to be played. But I mean, it's an option. It's bulky enough, and here we are. So I'm assuming a high horsepower is coming out. And he's just chilling, guys. He is just chilling as a high horsepower comes out, and that does nothing. Alright, Slowbro. I think Slowbro is able to take this one, guys. Here's a max ooze from the Slowbro, giving myself a special attack boost after this, and another one's going to be able to pick this knockout up. And I think Slowbro has done it here, guys. I believe Slowbro has decided to go ahead and say, you know what? I'm gonna get big, and I'm gonna take this game. I'm gonna take matters into my own hands here. And I think this was a great first game to feature this Slowbro in. And the battle is just gonna be canceled. Save ourselves some time. And we finished that game with a giant Slowbro on the field. So, good start to some Slowbro stuff right there. Very good start to some Slowbro stuff. And look at that. We're going to get Slowbro the Master Ribbon as well. But regardless of that, we are going to continue. We're going to go for one more in this episode, guys. It will be slightly longer than what I expected because we did talk a little bit extra about Slowbro. A little bit more about Slowbro. We talked a little bit too much, I think. I wasn't trying to get that up to 10 minutes. I was looking for more of something like 5 to 7, maybe probably closer to 5. But unfortunately, we did talk a lot about Slowbro. But I do still want to get 2 battles in this episode. So basically, the whole format's going to be the same for Trash or Treasure, except for the first time we used a Pokemon, we are going to try and talk about it like we did in this episode, and then jump into the second episode, and it's just going to be a couple battles in the second episode as well, and then we'll make a decision. And speaking of what I said is underrated here, we've got Inteleon. So Inteleon, Excadrill, Cinderace, Togekiss, Chandelure, and Venusaur. Now, the Chandelure is the problem for me here. The Chandelure is definitely the problem because it could be clicking in prison, and I'm gonna go ahead and assume he wants to click in prison here, right? If you're my opponent and you have a Chandelure on that side of the field, you want to click in prison. That is his only Trick Room answer. So I'm gonna bring Incineroar just for lash out into that. Now I wish I had U-turn on something else other than Incineroar. Like I wish I could pivot with maybe like I guess not really Cinderace, but something else. If I could have another pivot user here, I could just pivot off the Chandelure with like a U-turn, lash out, kill the Chandelure, bring my Trick Room Sitter in, and go from there. And I think that would be solid. However, just leading Incineroar, Incineroar and DD kind of works here. Incineroar and DD kind of puts in work. Maybe I just go. I could also go in Incineroar Primarina or in DD Primarina, just straight up. In fact, I actually kind of like that. I do kind of like the Indeedee Primarina option with Incineroar. And do I want Slowbro? See, Slowbro is not bad here, guys. Slowbro is not bad here by any means, although I think Cinderace might just be better. So we're going to go Cinder. I think offensive Cinderace, late game Dynamax is just better with that Cinderace here. Just because I don't really see a way we're really going to be getting this Trick Room up reliably. Now, Slowbro could technically do it. If anybody could, it's Slowbro beside that Indeedee. But I think Imprison just scares me off too much from using it here. But we are going to see Inteleon Venusaur. So I literally could have come in here and clicked Trick Room. I literally could have walked in and just clicked Trick Room. Which is kind of annoying. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of annoying that I could have just walked in and clicked Trick Room versus my opponent here. But I'm not mad about what I see here. I'm going to go for just drop an Expanding Force into that Venusaur, and I'm going to get Instant in here for some Intimidates. It also eats a potential Grass move. Intimidate's not going to matter for either of these two Pokemon, but if he does want to switch, I could see it being useful. He has no Sun for this Venusaur either, which is interesting to note. But Intimidate, of course, like I said, not going to matter at all. Are we going to see a Dynamax from either of these two Pokemon? We are not going to... Oh, it's going to be Pledges. So I really could have sat in here and clicked Trick Room. Like, I legitimately could have just walked in and clicked Trick Room. I legitimately could have just clicked Trick Room. Alright, but either way, we're going to get Expanding Force coming out, and this should pick up this Venusaur, or at least bring it to a Sash. Okay. Not quite as much as I expected, but does do a decent chunk of damage. And we are swamped, guys. We are very low because of the swamp now. And are we going to see this Inteleon max? I don't think we're going to see a Dynamax. I'm just going to Expanding Force again. And I'm going to Parting Shot off of this Inteleon here. Just in case the Inteleon does decide Dynamax, but I don't think it will. Just going to simply go for a Water Pledge. Regular Pledges here and pick up the Incineroar. That's a smart play. Now, I wonder if he has Sleep Powder too. And he does have Sleep Powder. Thankfully, though, we are going to dodge that with our Indeedee as we get an Expanding Force off to pick up both knockouts. Okay, so that's a big dodge for Indeedee there. That is a big dodge for Indeedee. However, we did lose our Incineroar. So what's he have in the back? Potential Chandelure. Do I want my Cinderace? I think Primarina makes the most sense. I really think it does. Just as a Dynamax user here, we've gotten rid of the Venusaur now. As we see Cinderace from my opponent. And what? That is the real question. And Chandelure. Okay, so I'm going to Dynamax this Primarina right now. And I'm just going to launch a Geyser, and I think killing the Cinderace is more important. I honestly think killing Cinderace is a little more important here. Is it though? Yeah, killing Cinderace is definitely more important. So I'm going to go for a nice little... I could technically Helping Hand and just run through him. But I think Follow Me makes more sense. Just draw the attention into my Indeedee here as I drop a Geyser into the Cinderace. Regardless of what Cinderace really wants to go for here, it should be picking up knockouts. Like, I should be picking up a knockout with Primarina into this Cinder. There's one... Like, what does he possibly do to take this Geyser? I think he dies to the Geyser every day of the week. I mean, granted, he could survive and he could hang in there. But granted that we're seeing a regular Pokeball, this should be the Dynamax Cinderace as we Dynamax follow suit with our Primarina 2 seconds later. And I feel like he Airstreams here. So Geyser, maybe I could have Helping Handed. Like, I technically, maybe I should have. Helping Hand and Geyser would have been the better play potentially. Although, I don't know. I feel like late game Cinderace is still good for us here. Especially if he's a flying move here and he manages to survive. We come in with our Cinderace and click Sucker Punch into it because he's not on the terrain. Which I think is which is why I still have it. Just in case I can get something off of terrain. That's why I have Sucker Punch and my own Psychic Terrain. So let's see what he wants to go for here. Indeedee, of course, going to click this Follow Me. Keep this Primarina safe for now. And we're going to see Cinderace go for a Max Darkness. So part of me now wishing I would have clicked Starfall, but I was not expecting a Darkness coming out right now. But it is a really good play from my opponent's end here, as Indeedee manages to hang on with 1 HP. Are we going to see a Shadow Ball? If we see a Shadow Ball, I'll be alright. But I don't think we're seeing a Shadow Ball. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a Heat Wave here. Now that he has the special defense drops. It is going to be that Heat Wave. Going to connect into Primarina. Not going to do enough. Of course, the burn is really annoying. Could put me in range of something from this potential Cinderace later on. However, Max Geyser coming out right now. And I should have Starfalled, guys. But I thought, like, I didn't think he was going to go Dark. I really didn't think he would switch to a Dark type in front of a Primarina. I really didn't. I really did not think he would switch to a Dark type in front of a Primarina. But I guess everybody makes wrong reads sometimes. But that was questionable at best on his end. I guess he knows that I don't think he's going to switch to a Dark type. So maybe he just switches to a Dark type anyways. I don't know. Seems really weird to me. And unfortunately, I believe there's still a turn of Swamp, which kind of sucks. I'm going to probably just lose Cinderace here. And just losing Cinderace, I think I just lose the game. I kill his Cinderace here. I can't high jump. I can't Sucker Punch like I had planned. I will bounce if I get a chance to get it off. But I don't think I will here. I could also technically guard, because he's nothing stopping him from doubling Primarina here. Nothing stopping him from doubling Prim. But I am just going to Geyser this Cinderace again. Maybe I should have bounced his Cinder. Possibly. And he is just going to drop a Darkness again. This time going into the Cinderace. And Cinderace is going to take it with 17 HP. And that could allow me to live this. But we're just going to see another Heat Wave. I need him to miss a Heat Wave. Basically is what I need to happen here. Heat Wave coming out. Going to connect. Going to kill my Cinder. Going to leave Primarina on the field here with a Hydro Cannon to kill. Sorry, a Max Geyser to kill this Cinderace. And this is the point in the game where the question is he Focus Sash or is he locked in? If he's Focus Sash, we're fine. Sorry, if he's locked into Heat Wave, we're fine. If he has Shadow Ball, we're just going to get blown back. And something tells me he's going to have Shadow Ball. And he's going to be Focus Sash. I don't think he's going to be locked into Heat Wave. It would just seem off to me. It would seem kind of off. I obviously cannot max Strike to slow this thing down for future turns, and I just kind of have to go for a Geyser right now. And the battle was cancelled. Okay. So he's locked into Heat Wave. I really want to check his team, guys. If I can check his team, I will, because I am very curious about that forfeit right there. He had to be locked into Heat Wave for forfeit there. Can I check your team, buddy? I really want to check your team. I don't agree with that forfeit. Can he not just switch the Shadow Ball and Shadow Ball me? I can't check his team, so that's going to be it for this episode, guys. And we are, I guess, going to be 2-0 with Slowbro. But I don't think we should have won that second game. But we take those. And thank you guys for watching this. And I will be back with some more Slowbro in the next Trash or Treasure episode.